Service is the one who has the public seal.
But was it communicated to Kenyans? Are the citizens aware that the government seal left the AG's office to head of public service?
Ronnie Reagan, that is a process that went through Parliament. The law was passed. There was public participation.
When was that?
Sometimes last year. So let us maintain that way. You can confirm with the Hansard. You can confirm with the proceedings. There was public participation. And there's nothing wrong with that, for your information.
So what happens to AG?
So therefore, the AG remains with his powers as the principal legal advisor of the president. But the seal of the president, of the government, is within the executive office of the president.
Welcome back to HAVANA Media. My name is Celestine Wandia. I'll be your host for today. And I will say some things only happen in Kenyan political scene or in Kenyan government, because tell me why. Government spokesperson Isaac Mwaura recently sparked a legal and political storm after confirming, that was through X, formerly known as Twitter, that the custody of Kenya's public seal had quietly moved from the Attorney General's office, that is the AG's office, to the Office of Head of Public Service, HOPS. And he said this with the confidence of someone revealing a well-kept state secret. Mwaura declared the public seal is under the Office of the Head of Public Service, adding that the change was purely administrative. Now, that's one thing people don't believe, and perfectly legal.
Mmesema nifupishe maswali. Where is the government seal right now?
When you look at the law is very clear. The seal is under the head of public service. That is the law. It was passed recently because of the executioning. The role of the head of public service is to execute the orders of the president. That is why even my office is under the executive office of the president, chief of staff and the head of public service. Next question.
So, Dr. that is to say the AG doesn't hold the government seal
anymore.
The
new law is that the head of public service is the one who has the public seal.
But legal experts, lawmakers, and curious Kenyans immediately asked, wait, can you just move the seal like that? Is it that simple? According to Article 156 of the Constitution of Kenya, that is the 2010, the Attorney General isn't just the president's legal sidekick. They are also the government's chief legal advisor. That is, sometimes he can offer advice to the government and the custodian of legal instruments. This means that the AG is like your mother. You see, the way your mother has your birth certificates and gives them to you when you need them and tells you you must bring them back when you're done with them. That's the way this public seal is supposed to be under the AG. Yes, the documents are yours. That is not in question here. But can you keep them safe? And even if you can, we don't trust you. Your mother doesn't trust you with them. So she just tells you, after you're done, please bring them back to me. And where the Constitution doesn't exactly spell out like who should be having it, who should guard it, tradition and legal practice have long placed it in the hands of the AG like a sacred stamp that authenticates official state documents. It's not just a rubber stamp, it's the real life seal of approval that formalizes laws, treaties, and executive orders. And it feels like someone is trying to take the shortcut here and sign some treaties behind our backs. Or what do you think is happening? Because going behind someone's back to do such things, and when Mwaura was specifically asked about public participation, he said that it happened, but for me, I never heard about it. Tell me, did you hear about public participation?
Is to execute the orders of the president. That is why even my office is under the executive office of the president, chief of staff and the head of public service. Next question.
So, Dr. that is to say the AG doesn't hold the government seal
The
anymore.
new law is that the head of public service is the one who has the public seal.
But was it communicated to Kenyans? Are the citizens aware that the government seal left the AG's office to head of public service?
Ronnie Reagan, that is a process that went through Parliament. The law was passed. There was public participation.
When was that?
Sometimes last year. So let us maintain that way. You can confirm with the Hansard. You can confirm with the proceedings. There was public participation. And there's nothing wrong with that, for your information.
So what happens to AG?
So therefore, the AG remains with his powers as the principal legal advisor of the president. But the seal of the president, of the government, is within the executive force of the president.
I think as Kenyans, we have been going through a lot of political drama that you cannot even tell which is which. Some things just get swallowed into the swamp, and some people use that as an excuse. In short, this is not the kind of thing you misplace in a filing cabinet or casually hand off like a birthday card present. Things got even juicier in March 2024 when an amendment to Section 28 of the Office of Attorney General Act was introduced to formally transfer the seal to the HOPS, an office known mostly for coordinating presidential directives. And in summary, this means the office that the seal wants to be taken into, the president can order it to do whatever it wants. Like, he can give commands to that office and it will be listened. So him taking a stamp there, that means something shady is happening. Something is going on, because why are you taking things to an office that favors you unless you are planning to do something? Critics immediately raised the alarm. Was this an attempt to centralize executive power and elbow out the AG from Kenya's legal command center? I feel like the AG at this point should just ask, kuna vile mmepanga, because this feels like that episode. And enter the Justice and Legal Affairs Committee, JLAC, led by the Rakanidi MP George Murugara, after reviewing the proposal with the seriousness of a legal tribunal and probably a few raised eyebrows. The committee unanimously rejected the amendment. They said, you can do this. This is not going to pass. Their message was clear. You don't just pass the national seal around like a hot potato. JLAC argued that there was no compelling reason to strip the AG's office of this role, warning that placing the seal under direct executive control risked politicizing a symbol that should remain above partisan interest. While Mwaura tried to calm the storm by painting the move as harmless reshuffle, the rejection by Parliament sent a stronger message. This is the first time I'm hearing the parliament setting ground rules. We all know they don't listen to their people. So I guess this was the exception. Maybe Kenya's legal institutions must not be tampered with for administrative convenience. The seal is more than just a symbol. It's a safeguard of legitimacy, law, and accountability. In the end, the public seal isn't just a fancy stamp. It's a constitutional mic drop. And as far as the Constitution is concerned, it's best kept in the hands of the Attorney General, not as a token of power, but as a commitment to legal integrity, institutional independence, and yes, knowing where your most important seal actually is. Thank you for watching Havana Media. I have been your host, Celestine Wandia. Tell us what you think in the comments below about this new resurfacing matter.